Good morning. My name is Reverend Kylie Renner, and on behalf of the One Spiritual Center community, I want to welcome you here today. Thank you for bringing your love and your light and your warmth into this space today. If you're watching online, you don't probably know that we're in the middle of a big weather change here in Albuquerque, and there's something really interesting about all of a sudden going from t-shirt and shorts weather to possibly overnight having snow, and that really rapid shift. And I don't think most of the time we pay attention to how closely we are connected to what's going on around us, because we live in these little bubbles of heating and cooling and lights that turn on at night. But if we tap back into our primal state and that what's going on under the surface, we are so connected to these changes that we have protected ourselves from, but really are guiding us deeply in how it is that we get to have a relationship with not only what's going on around us, but what's going on inside of us. And so I'm really sensitive this morning to the fact that there are big changes happening. There are big shifts that are happening internally. And there's this opportunity that we've been given to really pay attention to all of the things that have to come into form and all of the things that have to be let go of for that shift to happen. And we're all in the middle of it together, and we're all connected to it. And so as we gather this morning in the space of all of these changes, I want to open with prayer. So if you're comfortable, please close your eyes and join me. So just breathing into the beauty of this morning and the beauty of the shift in seasons. We open ourselves to the recognition of the power and the presence of the One that is always present, that is beneath the surface of things, guiding and directing us at all times. And so we tap into that love and that guidance as we allow ourselves to remember. And we welcome an awareness that is bigger. We We hand over whatever problems or irritations or things that feel like they're standing in the way over to a higher power this morning together. And in that handing over, we create space for Spirit to move. And so how blessed we are to have given ourselves time on this sacred day to be nourished and to nourish that part of ourselves that is calling for a deeper recognition. And so we let this day guide us. We let our souls speak. We let go into this day. And so it is. So in preparation for our meditation this morning, I have a poem to share by Mary Oliver. Look, the trees are turning their own bodies into pillars of light, are giving off the rich fragrance of cinnamon and fulfillment. The long tapers of cattails are bursting and floating away over the blue shoulders of the ponds. And every pond, no matter what it is, no matter what name it is nameless now. Every year, everything I ever learned in my lifetime leads me back to this. The fires and the black river of loss, whose other side is salvation, whose meaning none of us will ever know. To live in this world, you must be able to do three things. To love what is mortal, to hold it against your bones, knowing your own life depends on it. And when the time comes, to let it go. To let it go. So we take the energy of that deep love and the letting go. And if you're comfortable, please close your eyes as we allow this beautiful music to guide us this morning.
We have a very special guest this morning, and we want to thank Arlen, first of all, for sitting in on John's brand new tune that he brought in this morning. And this is Arlen Asher. It's always a real pleasure to have you here, Arlen. It's Arlen Asher.
So beautiful, so perfect for this morning too. Thank you. So I've been watching the leaves change this week. I have these amazing, huge mulberry trees in my front yard, and they're just starting to have that color come into them. And I keep coming across over and over this saying that the leaves are about to show us how beautiful it is to let things go. I've been thinking about how difficult it often is on this human plane to figure out what it is we're supposed to let go of and what we're supposed to hold on to. If there's this constant conversation inside of us with that which is so deep inside of us about what is it that's ready to be let go of, and what is it that is actually needs our attention, needs us to hold on to it. And I've been thinking about the fact that the fall so beautifully shows us how that letting go can happen, because I know so often when letting go happens for us, it often happens not gracefully or easily, and there's an old saying in metaphysics circles that everything I let go of, I has claw marks all over it, right? Like that there's like this letting go of that doesn't happen in this graceful, beautiful way that feels natural and effortless, and it often feels like a strain or a struggle. It often involves pain. So I've been thinking about that, and that Mary Oliver poem spoke so deeply to this like, how is it that we can love so deeply but still be in that place that is that allows us to let go. So once again, she said, to live in this world, you must be able to do three things: to love what is mortal, to hold it against your bones, knowing that your own life depends on it, and when the time comes, let it go. Let it go. And there's something really beautiful about that kind of being able to walk in the world in a way that allows that kind of effortless wisdom inside of us to just recognize what is it that needs to be let go of, and not from this like lazy place that says like I'm done with that or it or them, but from this place that says my wisdom is recognizing that now is the time. So I've been working with this idea about how is it that I can stay deeply in love and connected while at the same time able to let things go. And there's a Khalil Gibran statement that I often use in weddings that talks about relationships being where it's necessary to leave spaces in between in our togetherness. And I feel like that recognizing that has to be this space in between is such a beautiful way to start to think about the fact that we are these beings that need to be engaged in the world. Like that is what we have come here to do. And it's it won't work for us to disengage from the world and therefore not have to ever let anything go. Instead, we have to be deeply engaged, but deeply engaged in a way where there is space and where there is room for wisdom to move and where we don't get rigid. So Julia Butterfly Hill, who's an environmentalist who actually spent a lot of time up a tree that she was trying to protect, said this about what she learned from watching trees weather storms. As I started to picture the trees in the storm, the answer began to dawn on me. The trees in the storm don't try to stand straight and tall and erect. They allow themselves to bend and be blown with the wind. They understand the power of letting go. Those trees and those branches that try too hard to stand up straight and strong are the ones that break. Now is not the time for you to be strong, I heard from the trees, or you too will break. So how is it that we get to stay deeply in love, deeply engaged in life, while still being able to allow ourselves to have that letting go happen in a way that doesn't feel like it's constantly tearing us apart? How do we do that? And I recognize that this is an interesting place to walk, because there's a place where we get to that's past the kind of way we have approached things before, and we actually get to encounter a deeper place of connection that was what we were looking for in the first place, if we're willing to let go past that place where it feels like we're going to break, where it feels like the storm is going to take us down. And I have family in Florida that keeps sending me photos of the most recent hurricane and the trees that have been toppled in their neighborhood. And just this deep sense of that somehow, like, we have to find a place where we don't allow that to happen, so that we can retain this power. But that means that we have to have really deep roots. If we are going to be able to connect in that deep, powerful way, we have to have roots that go deeper than the ones that maybe we had before. And it feels like every time we let go, those roots go deeper. And we find a place where we recognize that there's that we don't have to hold on to things the way we were. We don't have to hold on and clasp and hold in that way of tightness, that we can actually hold on to things that create in a way that creates space. But I also recognize that there's some things that feel like that we would really like to let go of that just won't go away. That there are things that we feel like, I'm really ready to be done with that story or this pain, and that it won't go away. And I think about that a lot, about why are there things that end up lingering in our lives. And Pema Chodron, I think, said it one of the most beautifully and eloquently that I've read so far. This is what she said: "Nothing ever goes away until it has taught us what we need to know. If we run 100 miles an hour to the other end of the continent in order to get away from the obstacle, we find the very same problem waiting for us when we arrive. It just keeps returning with new names, forms, manifestations, until we learn whatever it has to teach us about where we are separating ourselves from reality, how we are pulling back instead of opening up, closing down instead of allowing ourselves to experience fully whatever we encounter without hesitating or retreating into ourselves." And so I think that the wisdom of this is this idea that whatever it is that feels like it's lingering, that we're ready to let go of, is in fact still there because it is intended to open us, not make us shut down, and that it has something to teach us about how connected we are and how deeply rooted we can be. But if we keep resisting it and resisting its lesson, then it will linger in our lives. And so I've been really thinking about this idea that nothing is going to go away until it has taught us what we need to know. And that there's something really natural about the way that things get let go of when there's this clarity and this wisdom inside of us that is responding to life and what we're encountering, so that we are deeply affected and moved and transformed, and then just guided even more deeply into who we really are. And there's a way of being in the world that can allow us to do that, but that's not how most of us have spent most of our lives. We've instead done the other thing that Pima was talking about, which is we've allowed those encounters or those things to instead close us off. And we think we can let go of things by closing off and retreating from them. And it doesn't work that way. So Robert Frost said, the only way out is through. The only way out is through. And so it's necessary for us to go through the process of what it is that we have to learn and encounter and allow those leaves to change, the colors to change, allow that energy to come back to the root so that the things that need to be let go of can happen just so effortlessly and beautifully. There's a wisdom inside of us that knows how to do this. So I recognize that this is a delicate balance. This balance between being really deeply attached and engaged in the world, the holding on, and the letting go. That there's, in fact, a really beautiful, delicate balance that we are asked to walk in this life. And that the more comfortable we can get with the fact that that's always going to be there, that it is always going to be a walk, that we're walking in these mortal human forms, that the more comfortable we can get with that, the more powerful and creative we can be in the world. Because we can start to deeply recognize that this is what we set ourselves up for, and that there's a wisdom all around us and in us guiding us. So the problem becomes when we are suffering because we haven't allowed ourselves to be fully either. We haven't allowed ourselves to fully hold on and deeply love and be deeply engaged. And we haven't allowed ourselves to let go either. And so there's suffering that happens when we avoid that balance and instead get attached to some other space that isn't real or important. And so this is something I end up talking to a lot of people about, especially at the end of anything. And what often comes up is this recognition that it is time for something else to happen. But there is also a feeling of often like making it so, I don't know exactly how to say this, but it's like where you have to somehow make what was less than to make that okay. Like that the shift needs to happen, but making it okay that shift needs to happen means either that we were wrong or bad, or someone else was wrong or bad, or that situation was wrong or bad. And when I end up talking about this, I realize that there's really important to make sure that we recognize that all of it is good. That all of the love that we've shared, all of the presence that we've brought, all of the things that we have encountered, that the fact that something needs to be let go of doesn't invalidate the goodness of it. And that there is something that calls us into something else that is bigger than our small perception of the amount of love that we can contain. And so we're always going to be asked to up-level that experience, and it is a requirement of being evolving beings on this planet that we allow that to happen. But it's not easy. And we look back and say, well, it should have been some other way, or it could have been some other way. And that letting go is more difficult because of that looking backwards in that way. So if we are willing to look forwards and to allow ourselves to realize that the letting go isn't a sign of failure, it's actually a sign of strength, that our capacity to see and be clearer than ever before is a sign of strength, that then there's an opportunity for spirit to move and for us to be willing to no longer be attached in the way that we were to the things that we love and that we're trying to protect. So Rumi said it this way: this is love. To fly toward a secret sky, to cause 100 veils to fall each moment. First, to let go of life. Finally then, to take a step without feet. Finally then, to take a step without feet. So this is one of those balancing acts that all of the masters throughout all of the ages have tried to guide us in. And it feels so important for us to pay attention to the wisdom inside of us that knows how to let go and knows how to love and stay engaged. And that we continue to let our hearts be opened by whatever it is that we're encountering, to continue to let our experience guide us more deeply. So there's a poem that I've used over and over, and I may have taken it out of my notes because I've used it so many times. No, here it is. And some of you are familiar with it, but it feels important. So it's a poem by Reverend Sapphire Rose, and it's entitled "She Let Go." She let go. Without a thought or a word, she let go. She let go of fear. She let go of judgments. She let go of the confluence of opinions swimming around in her head. She let go of the committee of indecision within her. She let go of all of the right reasons, wholly and completely, without hesitation or worry. She just let go. She did not ask anyone for advice. She didn't read a book on how to let go. She didn't search the scriptures. She just let go. She let go of all the memories that held her back. She let go of all the anxiety that kept her from moving forward. She let go of the planning and all of the calculations about how to do it just right. She didn't promise to let go. She didn't journal about it. She didn't write the projected date in her day timer. She made no public announcement and put no ad in the paper. She didn't check the weather report or read her daily horoscope. She just let go. She didn't analyze whether she should let go. She didn't call her friends to discuss the matter. She didn't do a prayer. She didn't call the prayer line. She didn't utter one word. She just let go. No one was around when it happened. There was no applause or congratulations. No one thanked her or praised her. No one noticed a thing. Like a leaf falling from a tree, she just let go. There was no effort. There was no struggle. It wasn't good, and it wasn't bad. It was what it was, and it is just that. In the space of letting go, she let it all be. And a smile came over her face, and a light breeze blew through her, and the sun and the moon shone forevermore. She let go. So there's a wisdom inside of us that knows how to do this. It's already there. So as we prepare ourselves for prayers, I'm going to invite you to take maybe something in your life and bring it to your awareness, something that maybe you're trying to find that delicate balance with about holding on and letting go. And we're going to allow this prayer to shift and move us wherever we need to. And first, we're going to sing into our prayer.
Our prayer of love lifts us high. It heals us, sustains us, and sets us free. Our prayer of love, it lifts us high. It heals us, sustains us, and sets us free. Our prayer of love lifts us high. It heals us, sustains us, and sets us free. Our prayer of love lifts us high. Heals us, sustains us, sets us free.
So our prayer of love today is the prayer of letting go. As we open ourselves to the greater yet to be, we allow ourselves to be guided by a wisdom that knows just how and just when to release the way we've been holding on to things so that our roots may grow deeper, so that we may be more loved and supported than we ever thought possible. And so we let whatever wisdom, whatever it is that we need to learn, access us deeply as we allow our hearts to be transformed, as we open to a wisdom that just keeps on taking us deeper. And we find that place of love and that balance. And it's right there. So I give thanks. I give thanks for this incredibly beautiful world we get to experience together. For this opportunity to love so deeply. And the opportunity to let it all go. I give thanks for it all. I give thanks for the grace in it. I give thanks for the wisdom guiding it. And I let it be. And so it is.
Our prayer of love, it lifts us high. It heals us, sustains us, sets us free. Our prayer of love lifts us high. It heals us, sustains us, sets us free. Once again, Arlen Asher. Arlen Asher.
Thank you so much, Arlen. It's such an honor always to have you with us. So now's the time where we move into the sharing of our tithes and offerings. I invite you to take whatever it is you brought to share with this community today and hold it over your heart. We also have a link on our website if you'd like to give electronically. And as we just open to that wisdom inside of us that knows how to let go and how to receive, and knows how to do it in perfect timing, I just recognize that whatever it is that is on our hearts today, whatever it is that is our prayer that we're putting into that which we're offering, I just know truly that there is enough love and enough peace and enough power and wisdom in any given moment to guide us in that perfection. And so I hand it all over. I hand it over to the divine wisdom inside. And I know that it is good. And it is in that energy that I invite you to sing with me.
I'm not worried about tomorrow. Today I declare freedom from yesterday and mistakes of the past today. All things are made brand new. Don't it feel good to know that all is well and unfolding as it should? I can change my reality, changing my mind. Perfect peace, joy, and happiness. It's yours and it's mine. I am loved and so are you. Won't it feel good to know that all is well and unfolding as it should? All is well, all is well. Divine Spirit is directing me right now. All is well, all
So we just take a moment to bless all that has been given and shared in this space today, recognizing the wisdom that exists inside of each and every one of us and opening to that wisdom, guiding us even more deeply into this radical love that allows us to be so deeply rooted in life while still creating space for things to move and change. And I just know that all truly is well. And so we bless that which has been given and received, knowing that it is all unfolding in a perfection that is bigger than any one of us can see. And I just trust in that, and I let it be. And so it is. Few announcements today. One is a remembrance that next Saturday is our monthly gathering at Community of Hope. We meet at First United Methodist Church downtown, and we cook a meal for now over 100 people that is served on Sunday. People who are hungry and are fed both a meal that nourishes their bodies, but also given spiritual support as well. And so if you're interested in joining me to cook for that, there's more information out in the info table. And then also the Saturday after that will be our monthly meeting at Roadrunner Food Bank, another opportunity to be of service and impact our greater community. So if you're interested in either of those, there's a little flyer that'll give you some more information about those opportunities to not just be in service, but to come together in community as well. So thank you all for the love that you are and you share. Please stay warm. Please take bagels home with you. They will help you stay warm. Please take bagels. And thank you for being here today. Let us sing together our last song.
One love, one heart. Let's get together and feel alright. One love, one heart. Let's give thanks to the Lord, and we can feel alright. People get ready, there's a train a-coming. Don't need no baggage, you just get on board. All you need is faith, hear that diesel humming. Don't need no tickets, you just thank the Lord. One love, one heart. Let's get together and feel alright. One love, one heart. Let's give thanks to the Lord, and we can feel alright. People get ready, there's a train to Jordan, picking up passengers from coast to coast. Faith is the key, open the doors and board 'em. There's room for all that love. One love, one heart. Let's get together and feel alright. One love, one heart. Let's give thanks to the Lord, and we can feel alright. Let's give thanks to the Lord, and we can feel alright.
And then one last blessing that we sing to one another as we leave. Please join me. Go forth and walk